Thank you for listening to Radio Mayapur, the link to your heart for devotional and inspirational music.
Welcome everybody. It's another wonderful day in Mayapur. The weather is getting cool. Everything is green. Everything is beautiful. I just came from a tour of Malaysia with His Holiness Swami, and I've been here for last a week now, and I'm very fortunate, feel always more and more fortunate to be in Mayapur, the Holy Dham, which is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, the avatar for the Kali Yuga. And so today we are very, very fortunate. We have with us a guest. This is Ganga Das, your host, and I'm from Italy. Maybe you recognize my accent a little bit. I've been in here a long time, 45 years now. But today we are very fortunate. We have with us from Australia, Nicholas, who is now being initiated, and his name is NrsimhaCaitanya Das.
Hare Krishna.
I was with him for 1 year in a farm, New Govardhan farm, and a very beautiful place, 2,000 acres with a river, with cows, and our own kitchen, our own friends, people coming from all over the world. A lot of people become devoted there. We did quite a bit of cooking together. We did quite some pizza night on Saturday with the music. We had a lot of fun. We went to the beach walking together. We did Harinam. We had a lot of fun. Australia is beautiful. So NrsimhaCaitanya Prabhu is here in Mayapur because he's studying Bhakti Shastri, which is so nice. It's the foundation of Krishna consciousness. And he wants to get deeper into understanding of spiritual life. He has been a devotee for more than 3 years. So he was born in Melbourne. He's 33 years old. He's handsome. And he's also a sound engineer. So welcome, NrsimhaCaitanya.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure to see you again after a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And tell us a bit about yourself when you were a child, when you grew up, with your family, your father, mother, your brother, something that our listener would like to know a little bit, scoop up your personality.
Okay. Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much again for having me. This is a welcome treat. So growing up in Australia, just older brother, 2 parents. It was pretty standard upbringing, to be quite honest. There was nothing too out of the ordinary. I wouldn't say there's anything inherently spiritual or devotional to my life growing up, but
Melbourne is a nice place.
Melbourne's a wonderful place.
Beautiful ocean, nice people, nice.
Oh, yeah. And spending lots of every summer, always at the beach, always at the beach.
Surfing?
No surfing like that.
All Australian surfing.
I'm the odd one out, the Australian that doesn't surf, that doesn't play cricket. Anyhow, that's all right. But I guess growing up, I was very lucky to have been able to travel a fair bit,
nice.
which definitely instilled a bit of a travel bug in my life for various reasons, just with family or even with school, getting to travel. So that was nice. Beyond that, though, just going to school, very lovely private all-boys school in high school called Melbourne Grammar. Nice. So I was there, graduated with non-flying colours. So just skated on by. But very fortunate and grateful that I was never pushed into going into a specific path for my life.
You mean something that you didn't want to do? Your
That's
father
right.
and mother allow you to do whatever you want to do, to choose your path.
Correct.
And you went to study and become a sound engineer. So what made you go into that direction when you were young?
Well, I'm a bit of I want to say maybe eccentric or flamboyant or colorful or creative type.
You can say whatever you want.
I'll say all those words.
Sure.
One of those types of people. And my father always poked at me saying, you just always, if there's a button, I'm going to push it.
That's
a
nice.
lever, I'll pull it and just see what happens, regardless of the situation. So I was originally going to study in hospitality because that's just what I did growing up, just for pocket money, and ended up, for whatever reason, going and having this open day at this university that has this beautiful sound equipment, studying all these performance-based things, or audio engineering or design, very creative outlet.
Beautiful.
And I remember walking into this room and there's this big desk, the final third year engineering desk. It's like, this music mixing engineer to the stars. I had it all planned out from that moment,
Wow.
All these huge dials that I had no idea what to do with. I was like, that's it, sign me up. I had no idea more about the course, but that was enough for me, So I ended up going straight from high school into that and studied and finished 3 years in a Bachelor of Audio Engineering and Sound Production, which was fantastic. What an experience. And I got to use that for on and off for the next 5 or 6 years.
Wonderful. What type of music you used to listen at that time? I'm curious.
A huge selection. I listened to sort of classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
My older brother, I just was always a couple of years trailing after him. So, whether it was heavy metal from him, and then going into university was a lot of electronic music because people there creating all their music. So just very weird and wonderful styles of music that if it was presented in front of me, as long as it had a good beat, I was into it. That was it. That was kind of my prerequisite.
It's nice to understand because I am older generation, so we listen to Pink Floyd and Rolling Stones and Friends Up and all this. But we grew up with that type of music. We didn't have we have heavy rock a little bit, but we didn't have Metallica. We didn't have all this computerized music, which is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, at one point you end up in New South Wales. I mean, in the farm near Byron Bay, So how you end up there?
So after the audio industry lifestyle started to peter out and came back into hospitality, it just over the time progressed into more bartending work. The alcohol industry was calling my name, so I thought, or I was calling out to it perhaps, whichever way around. And so that was my excitement. That was my path. And I was going down into that. And just over time, I was starting to get a bit fried out with it. Just later and later and longer nights, more and more intoxication, what comes with that industry in Melbourne.
Yeah. Part of the scene.
Yeah, part of the scene.
Part of the job.
Yeah. You don't want to
getting some beautiful girl.
Don't want to miss out.
You don't want to miss out.
Hate to miss out.
Yeah, but then it eventually burn you out.
Yeah.
It's because you don't sleep properly. You're taking stuff, drinking alcohol.
Yeah, it just got to a point where I was starting to feel out of control. To be quite honest with you,
right?
I was just okay. I need a break.
Yeah.
Literally, all it was, I just wanted to hit pause on life. I just wanted to hit pause on my current path.
The way.
Yeah, it wasn't a case of I need to stop and change completely. It's just let's hit pause. That was the main part of it. So online, I was just searching anything and everything, and just yoga retreats, meditation, resorts, anything. And I hadn't done either of those things. Mm-hmm. I can't sit still for too long. So the idea of meditation to me was too hard. And yoga, I wasn't particularly athletic or flexible or anything. But for whatever reason, up comes this place, Krishna Village, which is the name, which is the retreat center at New Govardhan in New South Wales.
Yeah. So who is the person you met first when you reached there? Because there's a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
It's very green. It looked like Switzerland a little bit to me. It's next to the ocean. It's beautiful. Farm.
Well, as luck would have it, as coincidence, Krishna's arrangement, however you want to call it, I arrived on a Sunday feast day.
Wow.
Which is just, what a welcome.
Beautiful.
So I remember getting to the village. So, all right, this is all a bit weird on, as you say, like 1,000 acres of land. I didn't even know where to begin, get my tent set up. All right, this is nice. I guess I can do this. Walk up the hill, and then there's all these colorful people walking around with, heads down. This is chanting. Exactly. Big kirtan going on and lots of sights and sounds. So that was really nice. But I do distinctly remember feeling very at home. Being up there, just sitting, looking around. I had no idea what was going on. I had no inclination that I would become a devotee or do anything with the temple. I just remember being up there and feeling very comfortable.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, at the time, the volunteer program, what I was doing, it was run by a devotee named Damodar Govinda.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just, every morning, there'd be a circle of volunteers around saying, all right, you're doing this, you're doing this. Like go to the kitchen, go to the garden, go to the cows, go to whatever it is. You know, you just get your service assigned for the day. That was nice.
And you felt welcome, and you felt not
yeah.
threatened, not like these people, they're going to conquer my mind, they're going to take over my life. Brainwash.
Completely brainwashed.
And,
Yeah.
what type of service you did when you were there in the beginning?
Wow, it was hard for me because they were just like, oh, you're a tall male, you can do laboring stuff, you know, go out landscaping, digging holes and moving bricks and moving big wood. And in a big
work.
farmland, there is no shortage of that. But
Yes.
after a couple of days of doing that, somehow I ended up landing with this devotee one-on-one. His name was Brendan. I remember him distinctly because he was integral to my cultivation of just an interest in spirituality more than just the I'm spiritual, not religious kind of bandwagon, which is what I guess I would have assigned myself to. Like if it was, you know, are you spiritual?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, you know, spiritual. There's something out there, but, you know, never God. So working with this man, it was designing and creating a roof for a shrine down by the lake around Govardhan.
Right.
And it was a terrifically difficult project, you know, angle grinding polystyrene blocks into weird shapes to try and put it all together. I don't know, it was like the worst jigsaw puzzle you've ever thought of, you know. However, it was 50% service, 50% conversations throughout the day. So with that, I just got a lot of questions and answers. Yeah, lots of information, any concerns or curiosities that I had, and he was always encouraging to, you know, not just, hey, become a devotee, but go up to the temple, ask, see what it's all about, you know. And if I saw things I didn't understand, he was very good at just putting it together and saying, well, even though I don't have too much knowledge on the science side of things in the world, I was just more ready to believe the science of the world than religion or the spiritual side of things. So he would say, okay, well, this exists here, and this is why it exists in the spiritual world, and like this is how it mixes. And he just sort of connected all the dots for me, so that was nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it just made sense. I mean, I can't tell you what he told me.
He was not fanatic. He was not pushing the button.
No way. No, it was really nice.
Not brainwashing.
Maybe subtly. But it was that's something, looking back over my time at the farm, just over 4 years, I've never once been pushed.
Nice.
Which is really important, because I'm of that persona where if I'm pushed too hard, I'll just say stuff and I'm out. You know, I don't want to have anything to deal with. If you feel like you're getting pushed up against the wall, it's like, no, thank you very much. Thanks for your time, but I'm out. So that's something I'm very grateful for.
That's a volunteer kind of being Krishna conscious is something we choose to be and we want to be. It's not somebody can push you or somebody can force you. It doesn't work in that way. What about your parents? How do they took it when you decide to spend more time into the spiritual platform?
It's still taking time for them, honestly. However, they see the physical changes and the emotional changes in me. So especially my father's often realizing, saying, I'm always going to have lots of questions for you, which I'm grateful for, because imagine if they just said, no questions, whatever you do, just do it. So I'd be really confused. I mean, I'm living it and I still have lots of questions. So them who are not living it, if they didn't have questions, it'd be a bit strange, just blindly accepting, you know, like this. But they see that I am happier and healthier and more communicative with them, and just living a
better life, we can say, because they saw, I mean, the fact that we are following some kind of principle, like we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't do any of this stuff, which you were doing before, and they can see the change, the difference between who you were before, and now you're more clear, more clean or whatever, more.
Yeah, all of
making
that.
sense. So the parents, they're kind of, okay, this guy's better off now than before.
That's right, and it's nice. And they do say, well, we don't really understand it so much, but we see that.
The result.
Yeah, and they see that it's important to me and that I really get a lot out of it, so they're supporting that. So I'm very fortunate that they are behind it, because they even were a part of, they logged on. It was an online initiation, so they logged on Zoom, and afterwards I said, I had no idea what just happened, but we're happy for you. So that was cool.
I think this is kind of unconditional love, when the parents, they feel like, okay, it's my kid and I want him to be happy whatever he's doing, And obviously, if they see somebody go off their truck with drugs and alcohol and frustration or divorce or whatever it is, then they don't feel so happy, But when they see the children or their kids, for them, we are always children, They see, okay, my kid is happy, whatever he's doing, he's doing something nice. Okay, but now while you were there and I was there with you last year when I was locked into the COVID, we did a lot of cooking. You were the vegan chef.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about veganism or vegan chef and being vegan. And you met a lot of people who are vegan there.
Yeah. So. It's very popular in the village, in Krishna village. So when you go down the farm, Krishna village is the retreat and the volunteer center. So a lot of the volunteers that come through are vegan, whether it's so I'll start with myself, is I can't digest dairy. I'm lactose intolerant. I have been my whole life. And, I realize now that being a Hare Krishna devotee, that's probably some past karma thing. Now I can't have dairy and I'm a devotee. Okay. But whatever it is, I don't take that because I don't digest it. It just makes sense to become vegan,
Right.
Now I'm a devotee with the other principles.
Right. But tell us, what is the mentality of the vegan people in general?
It's of two camps. Some people they see it as a health choice, whether it's a fad or they just think that, all right, milk is for cows. Okay. That's one band.
Honey is for the bees, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's right. So that comes from maybe an educational side of things, but that's one group. The other one is definitely from the more ahimsa view of it.
Being non-violent.
Yeah.
Against nature in general.
The dairy industry is horrific. The treatment of the cows is really terrible. So this is a lot of people's big focus, whether it's not so much for the health, but more on the global consciousness side of things. Correct. So that's very, very important. Fortunately for us on the farm, we have the cow protection, the goshalas, a lot of personal interaction with the cows, and all the dairy we use there is as we experienced on the pizza night. Sure. Again, he used the paneer and the mozzarella from the cows from the farm. So like this, and that gets to be a nice educational tool as well, not just for us being able to offer it nicely and to then be able to enjoy it, but it's educating people to go, wow, that's possible, that it exists.
Yes.
So that's nice, but that's the two camps that we have in the village that comes through. But typically cooking in the village or cooking for the masses, we try to provide the majority vegan options and then some dairy products.
Vegetarians.
Yeah, always, that's it. Always vegetarian, but then sometimes it's like a real nice, heavy, cheesy sort of dish or something like this. Yeah.
I met some vegan, and when I was serving prasadam there, and I was telling them, well, look, this is paneer. It's a cheese we make ourselves. It's from our milk, which is non-violent because we're not killing our cow. I said, yeah, I think I'll test a little bit. So it's fun. But, okay, then... after this few years you spend in Krishna consciousness, you're very active, you're doing wonderful service there. What makes you, your mind or your heart decide to come to Mayapur? Because Mayapur is a very unique, special place. And it's not a place where you just go by and say, oh, wonderful, let me stop here. So Australia is far away. So what makes you decide to come in Mayapur and study Bhakti Shastri?
It's hard to pinpoint a particular reason, but
in general, I'm saying.
I definitely remember seeing footage of Mayapur, seeing the temple or the deities.
Beautiful. Radha Madhava, Panchatattva, Nrsimhadev, Gornitai.
And there was something, it sounds so
You can say attractive.
romantic.
Something attractive.
But there was, very much, but it was unexplainable. It was unexplainable.
Right, something in your heart.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that sort of story, but for me it is.
No.
I remember seeing footage of this, of the TOVP, like this big panoramic, and then you see the deities, like, all right, I have to be there. Honestly, I just have to be there.
It's like a magnet attracting you.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. And then you learn more about what is Mayapur, what's the mood of Mayapur,
Right.
and, Mahaprabhu and all that.
It's amazing.
All the different things that come with Sridham Mayapur, but it's the study sort of thing that's been a new addition into my into my life. So on the farm, doing the cooking and then eventually managing a kitchen there, that's pretty all encompassing. It's very busy stuff.
Absolutely.
And whilst I get a lot of joy out of it, I haven't really had too much time or self-discipline, I'll be quite honest with you, self-discipline to sit down and go, all right, now I need to learn how to properly read Srila Prabhupada's books or study them nicely. We have such amazing examples of devotees just on the farm, what to speak of what you see online and, with lockdown, just the thousands of hours worth of classes given. You just go, wow, that's amazing. The wealth of knowledge. It's like, all right, well, the access to it, study the books.
Absolutely.
And so I asked our temple president, Ajita, so what do you think of the chances of somehow extracting myself from the farm and being able to do something like this? And so worked out a bit of a strategy as to when that would be possible. And then this Bhakti Shastri idea course came up, and especially after initiation, he said, we'll get first initiation, then after some time, of course, as I look towards Brahman. But then you hear people saying, well, there was a brahmachari in the ashram, he'd done the Bhakti Shastri course, and he said he'd gotten a lot out of it. And that was just online, doing it through Radha Desh. I said, well, okay, now lockdown's done. Let's see what I can do in person.
Live.
As I said, unfortunately, that self-discipline just is not as strong as it should be, or could be, or will be. I'm going to go with that as much as it will be. It will get there. So I was looking around, and then lo and behold, end of this year. So it just worked out. The stars aligned nicely, or however you want to call it. And I got myself over here. So I get to accomplish quite a few amazing things at once. One is the study side of things. The other one is to just have my first ever visit. My first ever visit
to India.
It's
the first time in India.
Yeah. I'm definitely a boy who does things not by small measures. So might as well the first time just come for
bang.
Yeah, just go for it.
But I remember we did a nice service. We did Saturday night, we did a pizza party, and we collect all the funds, and we send the Lakshmi for money for the elephant.
Yeah.
Radha Madhava was the elephant who had need at the time because there was a flood or something.
That's right.
And we sent a donation. So that could be your link to the service you did for Mayapur. So Lord Chaitanya is happy and allow you to come into the Holy Dham. Not there are thousands, millions of people want to come here, but maybe not everybody is able to, unless they offer some kind of sincere, honest service.
That's a good point.
And I believe this place where you stay is wonderful. It looks like Vaikuntha, the place where you study.
Yeah.
And you have nice accommodation, you have a nice room, nice prasadam.
Beautiful.
And you're slowly discovering the Holy Dham. You went to there and visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu birthplace.
Yes.
Tell us about what you felt.
So it
being the first time you come here. India is very colorful, and there's a lot of sound. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of things to discover. So tell us your feeling about this Lord Chaitanya's birthplace.
It's taken me 3 full days and even still not got it fully locked down just to understand how the morning program works at the temple here.
Yeah, it takes time.
So even just to get that is just taking focus on just being here. And I just love being in the compound. It just has such a wonderful and unique feeling to it. And so many devotees here of from all around the world.
Great spiritual energy, I would say.
Yeah. So to spend a few times just being there has been really wonderful. And now I'm starting to drip feed in a few of the things that are surrounding. So it's like, oh yeah, there's more to Mayapur than just a TOVP, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Apparently.
There's a lot.
So even thanks to your good self, getting to see Ganges the other day for the first time, I was like, wow, that's that's the Ganges, And today it's a devotee, Janmashtami Prabhu. He's lent me his bicycle, so I'm able to go and travel to a few different places. And today was yoga pit because it was not instructed, but it was advised by some of the senior devotees back home that when you go to the Dham, it's nice to walk, see places, and also see the samadhis of the previous acharyas, get the blessings of the previous acharyas.
Absolutely. Not
just go, I'm here and now I can just do my thing. And so today, going to the yoga pit, it sounds silly, but it's really real. It really...
You have to pinch yourself and say, I'm here.
I'm glad it's really real because I made some pretty strong commitments to it. Being in the presence of these places where these pastimes happened is something that I can feel. It's just so transformative.
Yes.
Reading about it's lovely. I love hearing stories. I love telling stories. But now finally being able to be at the places where those things happen.
Wow.
I mean, that's complete perfection. Being at the Jagannath temple. Yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I'm losing track of days.
There's a lot of vibration you can access here. Something deep happening to your heart and to your mind.
That's funny because
magical.
Oh, absolutely. And you see, it's the pure spiritual version of being starstruck. It's kind of this feeling. I sort of realized last night. I was just doing some reading, and I was realizing I've seen footage and pictures of the deities at the temple here. I've seen pictures and footage of these different places like the Ganges and Yoga Pit, and you see the big, almost like a cutout of the new big temple. And you're like, oh, that's nice. I feel like I know it already, but I don't. And then you get here and you're really there. I'm meeting this famous place. I'm meeting this pastime place. You're getting to interact. It's like, how am I going to behave? It's like, don't behave like anything. Just be there.
Just absorb everything.
That's right.
And you got to meet a lot of nice devotees, also senior devotee, because now, of course, Gaur Purnima is going to come. So the GBC, the sannyasi, the people that you would maybe see them in a video and say, oh, this is the Maharaj. I can go and talk business to him. I can ask him some questions, something.
Yeah.
So it's a magical place.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after, as you've experienced, or as we've all experienced, with the lockdown, it's just, we've missed each other's association so much. And now being able to see people cross over, I don't know so many people, but sitting back and watching people who know each other and how they interacting is really heartwarming. And then even in the Bhagavatam classes in the morning, there was this Mataji yesterday or 2 days ago that was saying how beautiful it is now. She's like, she said it was like family reconnecting, after 2 years of not being able to see one another back in the Dham. It's like, it's this real full warm feeling. So that was even just being able to witness that and just seeing how devotee interaction is on a really intimate level is profound. Because
I think also the intimate level of the devotee is based on the service they offer to the Lord. So that intensify the relationship between the devotee. Because when you do service together with people, then you feel the deep connection. Am I correct?
Yeah. I'm just thinking back the devotees I do service with or have done, even like yourself.
Yeah. So you get into know the people and the mentality and what they aspire for. Yeah. It's nice.
Very nice.
So then apart of this Bhakti Shastri, what do you think to do maybe afterward? I don't know. Let's say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm not saying there's A, B, C, D up to Z plan, whatever. What's in your mind? What you plan to do after you do this?
Oh, God.
This is a part of your life. Now you're wearing saffron cloth.
Yeah.
And so what's your plan?
I wasn't planning on wearing saffron cloth, so it just shows that, my lack of planning can be very surprising and very positive and uplifting. So I'm hoping that that's the trajectory I take as far as just the excitement and the fulfillment like this. I love interacting with people. I love preaching. I love just this.
Nice.
Even I haven't had a huge platform to do it on, and it's not like you need one. Just even one-on-one,
absolutely,
is perfect. Just to inspire, just to have an interaction with one person is great. And I'm fortunate at the farm to be able to have that because we have such a huge rotation of volunteers or whatever. It's just you be able to be there for someone. As someone was there for me, and that
you would be there for somebody else.
It completely transformed my life. Just having a particular person, not a big group conversation, just that one person that could just help me reframe some things. So I'm eternally indebted to Brendan, the devotee that really helped me like this, and subsequently people after like that. So the Bhakti Shastri, what I'm hoping to do is deepen my knowledge and appreciation and better understanding, certainly, of the philosophy and Srila Prabhupada's books, because, as I say, in these classes that we're so spoilt with, people are just, their knowledge is huge, but their realizations is the real power. So to be able to do that here in the Dham and in Kartik, it's kind of
special.
Daunting, I was going to say, but yeah, special, certainly special. So with the Bhakti Shastri, I'm hoping to get that and to, it was Prabhupada's instructions.
Yes.
If you want to know me, read my books, and not just read, but study. So this is what I'm wanting to get deeper and deeper into, so I can get to know Prabhupada better and introduce people to him better.
That's wonderful.
That's my goal.
That's wonderful. That's very nice. And you think you will go back to Australia, or maybe you go with the flow wherever you are? Maybe you end up remaining here and be one of the white elephant preaching and doing. There's a lot of preaching going on in India, so you can join the Sankirtan party and go in the civil book and give a lecture or whatever it is. I don't know.
No plans. I'll see how it goes at the end of this course.
Mm-hmm.
I think New Govardhan will always be calling me, but
of course,
we'll see what happens.
Right.
Hopefully that's not a fail to plan to fail sort of situation. But I'm open to wherever I'm guided to, and that's wherever I'm going to be of best service.
I think Krishna in your heart will definitely guide you. You're a very sincere, honest person. So Krishna in your heart will tell you, okay, do this, and you'll be happy, and you'll contribute for the cause of Krishna consciousness and Srila Prabhupada. Also, Srila Prabhupada said many times that I wrote this book for you, for studying this book, because I wrote everything in the book. And so if you study this book, we can become self-realized. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pleasure to have you with us. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.